Hola, my friends, and welcome back to A Life I Choose, the place to be, to design your life so you can thrive. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to our last week of Christmas content. Ta-da! And this week we are speaking about getting along with family at Christmas time. We have 3 rules for you for getting along with family at Christmas time. Why are we talking about this? Because I need it. I'm joking. Although, am I joking? I'm not so sure. No, honestly, I think that the majority of us need this. Why? Because at Christmas time, we spend more time with our families. We're in each other's spaces. Christmas can be particularly challenging because you can just be triggered more, right? You can be around people who just, rile you up. You can be around people who just like get on your nerves more. There's more expectations. There could be more nasty comments, and it can just be a lot to deal with. It can be particularly triggering. It can remind you of what you experienced when you were younger. It can be somewhat painful. So let's talk about 3 rules, okay, for how to get along with family at Christmas time, because even though your family might drive you crazy, I'm sure you love your family. Otherwise, you wouldn't even care about getting along with them. You wouldn't even be listening to this podcast, whether you're listening to this on the podcast or YouTube, wherever. You love your family. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. So let's think about how to get along with them, even though they drive you absolutely mental. So rule number 1. Rule number 1 is to relax your perception of how things should be. We all have different rules for what it means to show other people respect and love, right? So what do I mean by this? So for example, your rule for showing love might be to support other people in whoever they are and whatever they care about, right? You might be the kind of person who's just super supportive, is always there for other people, like, yes, you can do it, and like whatever. You're just very, very supportive. Maybe your mom's rule for showing love is to guide you with what is socially acceptable. Those are 2 very different rules, because maybe what is socially acceptable might clash with what is authentically true for you. So whereas you would want to be given support for something that you are going through, your mom might be thinking, but that's really not acceptable. You should be doing something else. And then boom, you feel unloved. She thinks you don't love because you couldn't care less. And boom, 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 clash, clash, clash. Pain, pain, pain. So just for Christmas time, I'm not telling you abandon your rules, abandon yourself, drop your standards, change who you are. No way. No way. Keep your standards, keep your rules, be who you are. But what I'm saying is just for Christmas time, right? Just for like a couple of days, maybe you could just not drop your rules, but make space for the other person's way of being. So make space for their way of being, right? They have their rules. Let them do their thing. Let them do their thing and don't take it personally. Just leave their rules with them. This is what they care about, right? If your mom really cares about what other people think and what's socially acceptable, let her be. Let her be. You don't need to go and make her rule yours. You can leave the rule with her. And also, you can leave the rule with her and not feel judged by it. Just see it as this is one of her rules. Of course, she sees me like I'm doing something wrong, This is one of her rules. If she were doing it, she would be doing something wrong, And just leave the rule with her. So something that I like to remember is when you're on their territory, like it's play by their rules kind of thing. I'm not telling you, you have to play by their rules, but just kind of let their rules be. When you're on your territory, they have to play by your rules. But, maybe at Christmas time, just kind of make space for the other people's rules. Just relax them a little bit and just be like, okay, it's fine. Tip number 2, remember the good in the other person. So when a family member is really irritating you, it's so easy to focus on all the ways that they piss you off, right? It's so easy. You can just snowball, right? You think of one way they piss you off, then you think of another and another and another and another, and boom, 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 until you're just full of like anger and you're just ready to like smash and demolish them, right? So My suggestion is to shift your focus, because whatever you focus on will grow. Whatever you fuel will, get bigger. So shift your focus and challenge yourself this Christmas to find just one thing that you like about this family member, just one thing that you like or you can appreciate about them. So maybe they are a great storyteller, or maybe they show support in ways that maybe you don't get, but they do. Like maybe they cook for you, or maybe they would love to cook for you, or maybe they, show financial support or something like that, Try to find just one thing that you like about this person, and you'll probably be surprised, because once you find one thing and you start showing appreciation for that one thing, you start to, within yourself say, I'm really glad, that they love my son, for example, or I'm really glad that they tell these funny stories. Then you'll probably find that you'll find another thing that you like about them, and then another and another. It's all about shifting your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. So be careful of what you are focusing on. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to choose. Choose a life I choose. Choose to walk in with a positive emotional state. Now, when we are dreading something, right? So if we're dreading spending time with certain family members, you're going to notice that your bodily state will change, right? You're going to go into a state of dread. So your body will resist. You will not think happy thoughts. Your focus will be on the angry stuff, okay? So choose, make a commitment to yourself to walk in a positive emotional state. You choose what that positive emotional state is. It could be playful, it could be joyful, it could be loving, it could be compassionate, it could be calm. You choose whatever makes sense for you. And if you make this commitment to yourself, you are going to prepare and be present in a completely different way than if you just allow yourself to be taken over by the negative emotions and the fucked up dynamic, right? So if you choose to go in a playful mood, you're going to prepare for the event differently. You're going to listen to playful music before you go. You're going to spend time getting dressed up in a way that makes you feel playful, or you're getting dressed up in a way that makes you feel good, right? So you're going to prepare, you're going to get yourself into that state. And then when you're there, if you stay committed to being in a playful state, how are you going to respond when somebody passes a nasty comment or a snarky remark? You're not going to latch onto it. You're going to laugh it off. If you're in a playful state, if you're in a calm state, you're going to choose to just let it go. If you're in a compassionate state, you're going to say, this person's hurting. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to pass these nasty comments and remarks, right? So choosing your state means that you don't get triggered and ride the wave. You will be triggered because you're human. You grew up within this family. Your childhood self knows this family, okay? You're going to be triggered. Or if we're speaking about in-laws and you didn't grow up with them, still, you're going to be triggered, right? People get under our skin. But the point is, do you choose to ride that wave, right? And completely lose control. Go along with that emotional state, which is going to ruin your day, ruin your time with your family, just ruin your state, right? Or are you going to choose your state? Choose to be playful, choose to be compassionate, choose to be energetic, whatever it is that you want, and stay in it, right? Because that is going to completely shift the ball game. And if you don't jump on that emotional roller coaster and, get triggered and then fuel the situation because you're going to start passing comments too, if you don't do that, imagine you just laugh a comment off. Completely different response, which means you're going to have a different reaction from the other end as well. You're going to start to shift the dynamic. So guys, my 3 tips, right? So tip number 1 was to relax your perception of how things should be, right? Make space for the other person's rules and leave their rules with them. Don't let their rules piss you off. Tip number 2, remember the good in the other person. Don't only see the things that piss you off, see the things that you do like about them and appreciate those things. Tip number 3, choose to walk in with a positive emotional state and stay in that positive emotional state. Make that commitment, not for them, but for yourself. Do it for you and for the people who you really care about. And you know what? Maybe while you're there, instead of, spending time with the person who really, really, really gets under your skin, shift your focus. Be with the people who you enjoy even more. Your niece, your cousin, your sister, whoever, And maybe if you don't like any of them, just really enjoy the cheese. So guys, we will do a Q&A about this on Thursday. So most definitely tune in then, where you can, leave me your questions on Instagram and I will get back to you. And I really hope you've enjoyed playing our advent calendar. It's the last few days, Friday's our last day. And I'm really, really curious to see who's gonna win.